Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about some upcoming upgrades on my new Lowrider ST. Let's check it out. Alright, what's going on YouTube? FXDLS Brooklyn is back in the building, and as we mentioned in some previous videos, we are going to be doing a build project with this bike in partnership with O'Toole's Harley Davidson. So we got a lot planned for this particular bike. So what I wanted to do is in this video, just kind of give you a rundown of some of the upcoming install and review videos you could plan to see for this bike. So if you're someone who does have this bike or you're in the market for some of the upgrades that we're talking about, you could keep an eye out for some of those videos because like I said, with head tech Dr. Mike, we'll be doing some install videos as well as some review videos as well. So one of the only reasons why we could even fathom getting into a brand new Lowrider ST is again the support of all of our sponsors who contributed the parts that we're going to mention in this video. So as always, it goes without saying, shout out to all of our sponsors who are contributing to this build. Almost all of them are companies I've supported one time or another, and it's parts that I've run on all of my other bikes. So again, it's just a real honor to have the support from these companies. And again, we'll go through the list and mention who we're talking about. So, you know, on all of our bikes, we run a Fab 28 2-into-1. So one of the first things to go, I'm not even going to do a startup on this bike because everybody's going to laugh. But one of the first things to go, as is with any stock Harley Davidson, is that stock exhaust. That exhaust is going. The good folks over at Fab 28 made us an exhaust specifically for the Lowrider ST. And we are excited to throw that thing on, hear how it sounds with a 117 Milwaukee 8, and get this thing sounding properly, as well as getting those performance upgrades from a Fab 28 2-into-1. So huge shout out to Fab 28. You know, continuing down the line, if you saw my content on the bike that Harley Davidson sent me, the Battleship Gray Lowrider ST, one of the first things we did is we got rid of that stock seat. That seat has got to go. You know, given stock Harley Davidson seats, it's actually not the worst one ever. You know, it does have a little bit of that step-up action, keeping you locked in. But there ain't nothing like a Saddlemen SDC Pro. So the good folks over at Saddlemen made us a seat just for this bike. Again, it is the SDC Pro, and that's going to be one of the first things we throw on this bike. So you could expect to see that coming real soon on this bike. Again, aesthetically, nothing looks better than a Saddlemen, and functionality and performance-wise, nothing's going to beat a Saddlemen SDC Pro. So that'll be going on this bike. Next up, you know, as much as we like the bags, you know, I gave the bags a really good review in some of my previous videos. We do run Leather Pros on everything. That is a company that supports us. So, of course, we are going to be throwing some Leather Pros on this bike. So you'll be seeing a fresh set of crisp Leather Pros coming on this bike. Those are the V3s, more capacity than anything else, and a great aesthetic. And again, that's for everybody who's going to write in the comments about the lopsided bags, brother. Don't worry, I got you haters covered in the comments section because we got nothing but Leather Pros V3s coming straight onto this bike real soon. Next up, our sponsor over at Lucky Dave's out in California. They contributed a new set of Lucky 13 bars coming in at 13 inches. That's what I run on my Dyna Lowrider S, and that's hands down the best bar setup I've ran on any of my bikes. So we're going to be having to change the cables, and it's worth it because, again, there's nothing better for me than the Lucky 13s at 13 inches. I love a bar with pullbacks, so that'll be coming on this bike real soon. For foot controls, we got the good folks over at Flow Moto who are sending us some mini floorboards to go on this bike. So I run those on my Dyna Lowrider S. That's hands down the best foot controls in terms of touring and doing the long miles. While we're on foot controls, we also have a custom brake lever that's being sent in through the good folks over at Moons MC. Speaking of Moons MC, they are also sending us some custom LED lighting for the back. So we're going to lose these ugly turn signals. We're going to be putting an integrated taillight back here, as well as installing their brand new LED headlight for the front. You know, they just came out with the new bracket kit for that. and replacing these front turn signals with running LED lights. And again, that is all from the good folks over at Moons MC. So be prepared to see a lot of Moons MC coming on this bike. No light is brighter, no light looks better. And whether you're just looking to see the road or whether you're looking to be seen for visibility, no one's going to do it better than Moons MC. So you'll see lots of moons coming on this bike soon. And then we got, of course, you know, I'm definitely someone who's preached the importance of a crash bar. A crash bar is actually a part that saved my life in a motorcycle wreck, so I'm a huge proponent of having that part. We have the good folks over at Bung King sending us a brand new crash bar from this bike, and that's from Deadbeat Customs, who made that happen. Specifically, Deadbeat Customs, who's become a sponsor of the channel, is also sending in a couple other things besides a crash bar. They're sending some brand new grips, right? The Arlen Ness brass knurled, so we'll be changing out the grips, as well as an LED license plate frame and a laydown bracket. And again, that's coming from Deadbeat Customs. Shout out to them. Thank you guys for supporting the build. Really looking forward to it. Great to have an East Coast company on board here. And of course, we got none other than Lindell Brakes, who's going to be coming through with sending us some rotors as well as some calipers, those Brembos for this bike. So nothing beats Lindell. Nothing looks better than Lindell. We want some true stopping power for this bike. You know, it's what I run on my Dyna Lowrider S. So after I put that setup on that bike, especially with those Brembo calipers, there was no going back. So be prepared to see some Lindell rotors as well as some brake pads and calipers on this bike. You know, it's a fast bike, so we want it to stop just as fast. So shout out to the good folks over at Lindell for supporting this build. And shout out to the good folks over at Hardcore Cycles, who will be contributing a set of Legend suspension. You know, this bike has a monoshock in the rear as well as an inverted front end, so it's not really lacking in the suspension department, but hey, you know, this is going to be our main bike. This is going to be our main road bike, so we're going to go the extra mile. We're going to put in for some serious performance suspension, and it's all made possible all to the good folks over from Hardcore Cycles. So thanks guys for supporting the build. It's not a part of the bike, but shout out to Simpson Motorcycle Helmets. They sent a brand new white Outlaw Bandit, which I really like because again, I really dig the contrast of the standard white with the white sand pearl of the bike. It really makes the paint of the bike pops. So shout out to Simpson Motorcycle Helmets out in Texas for keeping us covered all these years. It's an honor to have you guys be a part of this project. And yeah, let's keep it moving. We're going to give a shout out to the good folks over at Lexan Moto, who sent us a brand new wireless tire pump for this bike. You know, it'll fit right in with those bags. When unexpected situations happen on the road, Lexan's got you covered. So thank you, Lexan. And we got to give a shout out to our sponsors over at First MFG, who partnered up with me to collaborate and make the Outride jacket, which is going to go really well with this bike, right? So again, glad to have you guys on board with the build. That's pretty much the big installs we're going to be doing and the big upgrades that we're going to be doing. If you think I'm missing something or you think there's something I need to have on here that I missed, let me know. Would love to hear it. But right now, that's kind of where we're starting. You know, we have the blank canvas of the bike and really looking forward to seeing where this thing goes. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I couldn't have done any of this without the support of all my sponsors. So huge shout out to all my sponsors. Everyone that I mentioned in this video. Couldn't have done it without y'all. Thank you for supporting another build. As always, stay safe, stay low. And on that, FXDLS Brooklyn is out.